Are we live? Are we live?
I think so.
Are we live? Hi, everybody. This is not Eric Valentine coming to you. This is Grace Potter. But I might be showing up on your stream feed as Eric Valentine, and that is because he's my husband and he knows how computers work, and I don't. So thank you so much for joining me this afternoon, this evening, this day. Such a wild time in the world. And I don't really know where to begin except to say that I feel lucky that I have something to contribute to the world right now that is not bad and that is not overwhelmingly painful. However, the song that some of you may already know, but that we are revealing the video for today, came from pain. And I think that's a huge piece of why I felt it was an important one to share. It's so hard to express the disjointed sensation of being out of your own body with anger, pain, grief, and this sense of isolation from others that has obviously been amplified so much more from the pandemic and being locked down and stuck in our homes. And then you have creativity, which, as I have found time and time again through so many different sources, has been kind of the salvation of the human spirit in so many ways. Because sometimes even love fails, especially when you're stuck in the house with somebody like Eric Valentine. Unbearable person, by the way. He's the worst.
I'm the worst.
No, but it's like you can't just rely on the gas tank of love and everything's cool and groovy all the time. I mean, pain happens, and the love that I have for my partner and for my son and for my family is in part due to the fact that there was a lot of pain and grief and destruction that had to happen in order for Eric and I to be together. And that became the inspiration for my album Daylight, and it was such a huge piece of how the arc of the album needed to feel for people who were going through their own struggles. And I knew that going into it, but I had no idea when I released the album just how much this particular song would touch people and how scary it can be to dive into your feelings of pain, resentment, anger, frustration, grief, full out just the feeling of loss that we feel when a love is taken away or when someone is impossibly and unbelievably removed from your life. It's just an incredible struggle and one that is not fun to face. But in facing it through writing this song, it was my first time dabbling in a level of honesty and hard on my sleeve, terrifying songwriting that I never really thought I would get into, but I did. And here it is. It's this song. So I guess I wanted to talk a little bit today with all of you and invite you to ask questions about the making of this song, the making of this music video. Catherine Fordham, the director, you will know her as Top Salt on Instagram. She is fantastic and an amazing collaborator and someone who has been a champion of mine, and I've been a champion of hers since we made this music video over a year ago, and have been just kind of white-fisting it through all this stuff, just hoping that at some point we're going to actually get to the other side. White-knuckling is the right word. Fisting is a bit more sexual of a thing. I'm sorry about that. I meant like when you're holding onto the steering wheel really tight, okay? Let's not get weird, people. I already got weird. I was hoping this one was just going to be really sincere and straight ahead, but I've already gone straight into the gutter with it. Okay, there you have it. This is a nice family afternoon thing. Okay, so questions, comments? Yes.
So before we get into questions.
Before I invite questions.
And we have some amazing questions.
Okay.
Let people know that are watching via Facebook.
Okay, yes.
That only this live part will be available to watch on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. If this alert came through your Facebook and you're watching through Facebook, when it's time to debut the music video in just a few short minutes, you're going to have to jump over to YouTube. Otherwise, it's just going to be like a black screen.
Yeah, the
So-
live stream will end, and unfortunately we couldn't get it, so it would, the video would play on Facebook as
Yeah.
well. So just go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube,
Yeah.
and then you will be able to see the video
Premiere.
when it premieres in just a few short minutes.
Yeah, exactly at 3.
Exactly at 3 p.m., people. Which means I need to stop rambling and talking about my, sexual organs and get into some of the amazing questions and thoughts and comments that people have been throwing at me. So what do we got? What do we got, Eric Valentine?
Okay, we're gonna start with the big one. Okay.
Okay.
Get out your hanky.
Oh, no. I don't have a hanky.
Okay, I'll
Get you all set up.
How does this song make you feel listening to it after Busby passed away?
You couldn't even ask the question without having your voice crack. For
What is your favorite memory of working with him?
So, for those of you who don't know, one of our co-conspirators and incredible creative factors of the album Daylight was an amazing human named Mike Busby, who was known professionally as Busby, and has known Eric for decades. And I had the great honor to meet him and his amazing family just a few years ago. And his songwriting career had a meteoric rise, and he really shot out of Nashville and Los Angeles simultaneously like a rocket into all different walks of life, from country, soul, R&B to pop music. And we had been collaborating a little bit over the years, but never with my music. And with the song Release, which was dabbling in so much pain and regret and resentment, I kind of couldn't open the can on the whole thing myself. And I only had a chorus. I had the vision and the idea and an a cappella recording that I actually recorded in the bathtub. And I brought it to Busby, and we sat down for one afternoon, and the entire rest of the song fell out in an incredibly organic and really very spiritual way. It was definitely a cathartic and spiritual experience, which is why you get that sort of gospel element in the production of this song, which is very sparse. But there's a lot to be said for inviting in another voice to look at your story, to hear your words, and to be able to invite in such soaring resolution in what I was really just seeing as like a marinating, painful, soup that I couldn't quite get myself out of. And that's what Busby did the best. He had a bird's eye view on songwriters and on talented people of all walks of life, and that made him one of the most incredible spirits I've ever come into contact with. And sadly now, that's all we get from him, because he is a spirit now. We lost him to brain cancer pretty unexpectedly, right before the album Daylight came out. And we just unearthed some amazing video of he and I recording this, which we did live. He played the piano, and I sang right in the studio together. And we found some video of him talking about wrapping his brain around the song again and learning the parts. And in retrospect, it was just strange to hear him say that, because so much was going on unbeknownst to him in his brain at the time. So, yeah, it was incredible to write a song with him. I wrote several songs with him for the album Daylight, but never one that quite pulled on all of the heartstrings like this one does. And I miss him every day. It's sad that the world won't get more Busby creativity, but I think he's still buzzing around in so many people who he touched over the years, and that's why I'm going to keep writing songs. I know that much. Thanks for that question.
Let's see if we can recover from that. Has the meaning of the song changed for you after everything that happened in 2020?
Yeah, yes. Has the meaning of the song Release changed for me after everything that's happened in 2020 was the question. And there's no way that it couldn't. And not only that, but it changed for me the second that it came out, because suddenly it was not just my story. This is a song that now has traveled into the homes of many lives, all of whom have been affected so deeply and in such a universal way, where our circumstances are always going to be different and everybody has their own story. But my God, have we all been thrown for a loop. And it is hard to let go of the things that you remember. I find myself feeling homesick for the way life was before the pandemic, and in an aching, inexplicable way that doesn't make me feel like a lost soul. And the only reason why I don't feel like a lost soul is because I know how many other people are going through the same thing. So the song became almost like a messenger, you know, of healing and hope, and not necessarily resilience, but resolve. And I think we all need that right now. There's this sense of closure that I get when I hear this song that just makes me feel like I can exhale and move on to the next step in my life without any expectation or judgment. And so, yes, it has fundamentally changed the way that I see the song and the way I listen to it. Okay, we have 4 short minutes until this video is going to premiere. I have to say, as we dive into this, how proud I am of this. This is my favorite music video I have ever made, which is why it was really frustrating every time something would come up as a bit of a roadblock for having the chance to share this video, because the song is already out there and people have heard it and know it, and I've been performing it live, but there's a whole other piece of art that exists in my soul as someone who went to film school and wanted to be a filmmaker. When I find and connect with a director and a creative person who really understands the soul and the spirit and the message of a song and can convey it so beautifully, not to mention put their performer through unbelievably uncomfortable circumstances and still have me walk out the other end saying that it was the best experience of my life. I cannot say enough good things about Catherine Fordham, the director. She and her partner who put together the treatment for the music video, the second I read the treatment, I was bawling. I was like, immediate, yes, absolutely. You know, there was several other people submitting. After I read that treatment, there were no more reads of anything. I knew I found my person. And we couldn't be more different as human beings, and that's also what I think fed this this creative charge that we had together.
So can you talk a little bit, because this is a question that was asked, what was the inspiration for the video?
The inspiration for the music video is the song. And the inspiration now for me, as I go back and listen to the song, is this video. It is a catharsis. And as you'll see when you watch the video, there is a story and an arc that captures not just the song release, but also the entire arc of my life over the last 5 years and what this album Daylight is about, you know. It is rare for an artist to have a chance to reset in the way that I did in this time. And I didn't know if I was ever going to make any records or music videos again before this album came out. And this video really feels more like a culmination of the entire Daylight album. But the song release, the lyrics and the message and the hope and the invitation for compassion and forgiveness that comes from these lyrics is conveyed through this video in a way that I never would have expected. It's got, I mean, it plays like a movie, and it's a very compelling approach to it that I never would have thought to take myself, having written it. But it's a very powerful video. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I'm bragging, but I'm not, because I didn't make this video. I was in it, but it's really easy for me to see true art and a truly creative and open-minded visionary. And as I said, we are not the same. We don't come from the same walk of life in any way at all. And in a way, I think Catherine, as a director, really honed her craft by, I think, working with opposites and working with the contrast of, you know, a soft energy and a hard energy. Oh, I guess we have to wrap it up. I'm sorry. I've said enough good things. Catherine Fordham, Top Salt on Instagram. Check her out. She has a bunch of other amazing films, too.
You probably have about 20 or 30 seconds.
20 or 30 seconds left.
I want to just talk into this premiere? Any final thoughts as we transition into?
I suppose I should explain why I was holding a guitar, which is that I didn't think I was going to be talking this whole time. I thought I might play. So maybe I'll just walk us through, and then you just cut me off whenever we're ready.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the way we introduce a new music video, introduce a new music video, introduce a new music video. I don't know what to say other than thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you all for caring, and I hope you find the healing and the release that I have found through this song and this music